Hello everyone, and welcome to the Daily Joker 77. Now, before I get into my discussion of the show, I'm not giving a review, I'm just giving my thoughts and, just explaining the show a little bit, but once I get into an actual review, because that'll be episode 1 of my new series, TV show reviews. Hi, and if you notice, I'm paying a little homage to classic look when I first started the channel. Fans out there will know the hat. You've been missing it. Well, winter hits, so I put on my beanie as winter hits and the fall hits. So there you go. I'm paying a little homage to the fans here. So, how to discuss this show? And here's a spoiler warning because I'm going to get into heavy spoilers. To those who have not seen the show, maybe you have, but here's your spoiler warning. Alright. So, NOS4A2, or NOS4A2 as it's pronounced, is a show that's set in, if I can remember this, Haverhill, Massachusetts. There we go. It's actually filmed in Rhode Island, little fact in the credits there, but it's set in Haverhill, Massachusetts, where Victoria, or Vic McQueen, has a special gift to find lost things and lost children, as we find out. And she's actually called a strong creative. And then we find out there's he's actually a vampire because, yes, Charlie Max is a vampire that feeds on souls, though we haven't seen it. It was described in the show that he feeds on souls to keep his immortality. He was also a strong creative 100 years ago, but he paid the ultimate price, as said, his soul. So he feeds on souls to keep his youth, and as we further learn, if you damage his car, you damage him. His life is literally tied to the car, and I'll get into that at the ending of episode 10, because, wow, I just finished the show today from watching it yesterday. Oh my god, the first season is so good. I cannot wait for the second season. I'm so excited. So, we meet other characters such as Maggie, and then we meet Victoria's father and mother, who have a very estranged and, I would say, divorce-ridden marriage because they're separated, but probably wanting a divorce by now. So, Chris and Linda, that is the name of Victoria's father and mother. We learn that Chris is abusive, and he basically ditches his ex-wife and his daughter for younger women at bars and everything, and he rides a bike and he's paid under the table for what the fuck was his job? I think repairing cars. And then Linda works cleaning houses, and she originally wanted Victoria to join into that business as her job, and then we find out later that Victoria finds this bridge while she's riding her dirt bike to get away from things, and she travels to different locations, and we find out later this is called her, what was it? I think it's called in a, fuck if I remember, I think it's called an instep, because it's called the Shorter Way Bridge. I mean, it's a lot of info I'm trying to get through, because I just watched this once all the way through the whole season. It's a lot to remember. I think that's what it's called. Correct me if you've seen the show and remember, because, God, that term, I just called it Shorter Way, so we're just going to call it Shorter Way, or the bridge. But every strong creative has a way that they teleport, pretty much this way they teleport. And they have what's their object's called a knife, where basically Victoria's is her dirt bike, and then we find out that Jolene's is her wheelchair, or her roller skates that Charlie took away from her, and we found out that Charlie in 1954 was going to propose to Jolene, and she declined and would not go to Christmasland. Christmasland is where Charlie keeps the children he abducts and turns into vampires after feeding on their souls in this wonderful little land, and they reside there. And yes, they are vampires, because I had to figure this out for myself. And as we see, when the children are starting to turn, as I found out, they lose their teeth, having razor-sharp little needle-like teeth in place of their normal set of chops there. And they feed on the victims that go into the Rolls-Royce Wraith. It's a 1938 Rolls-Royce Wraith, and I think that car is just awesome. I love the Harley Davidson that Victoria's father drives. I think that is so cool. So, I find out that Vic has been trying to get into this college called RISD. She gets in, but as her destiny, basically that she's been chosen for to stop Charlie, interferes with that, and many things happen where, wow, and I almost forgot to mention this. They're the main children that were taken were Daniel and Haley. So Haley was basically someone that Victoria would babysit. And once Haley was abducted, her mother was killed eventually. But then we also learned that the janitor from Victoria's school is working with Charlie Manx to abduct the children because Charlie's lackey was killed off early in the season. And we find out that there was a former employee that Charlie killed that was working security to help him get the children. Basically, that he was not allowed into Christmas Land, and thusly he was killed. And being Partridge was not allowed into Christmas Land because he was still on the naughty list, and he wasn't taken off of the naughty list. So eventually, as Charlie was starting to work with Bing, he was more closed in by the police eventually, but surprisingly, when the police arrived where Charlie was reported seen with the Rolls Royce, they couldn't see the Rolls Royce. And eventually, Victoria talks to Charlie after Bing basically took her hostage and everything, after she escaped and came back to Bing's house by being abducted. She escaped the first time after trying to talk to him, trying to find out what's going on. And unfortunately, Victoria wasn't able to find Daniel or Haley, so they're in Christmas Land, as we found out. And crap, I'm sorry, bear with me, I'm trying to remember all this info. It's a lot to remember. Whew, okay. So basically, we found out in a flashback that Bing killed his parents because Bing's father was very abusive verbally and physically, and Bing shot him with the nail gun that he was using to hang up the Christmas lights outside, and then he did things with the mother. I'll just imply that, as you'll find out in the show once you watch it. And then he kills her. And then he uses the same modus operandi to kill Sharon, Haley's mother, after Sharon was not being cooperative and everything with the gas he eventually used. To have people more open to suggestion. So Sharon was shot in the head with a nail and found in the fields once Victoria found her where the bridge had taken her. And we find out with Victoria's gift, she pays a price. Her eye will bleed and her ears will ring and everything. There's always a price that a strong creative pays. And Jolene, as we later found out, has a gift also. She can astral project to other places through the dark tunnels, her bridge, or her instep. I think I'm getting that right as I remember. And she was able to take Victoria, another strong creative, with her, and they were able to hurt Charlie. In the process, they were able to stop the car from working. So that injures Charlie, as we found out, like I was saying. So eventually, once Victoria is found by Charlie, she also learns that Craig, who she hooked up with and eventually got pregnant by, is taken hostage by Charlie after Bing was attacked by Craig. So Oh, it's a lot. And Maggie is a medium, and she uses Scrabble tiles with her gift, and electricity crackles when she uses the tiles and everything to read them, which is really cool. I think that was really interesting because there's all kinds of different mediums. That was a really cool way to use her gift. Um, Man, this is a lot to remember. So back to what I was saying. So Victoria, she escaped an encounter, near death encounter with Charlie previously before she found him with the bikers' help a at a gas station and everything. But before then, Charlie tried to burn her in his house alive after one of the other kids, crap, I can't remember his name. After one of the kids was chasing down Victoria. And also, Charlie got rid of Victoria's dirt bike, threw it into the bridge. So her knife is gone, pretty much, and she can't use the bridge anymore. And she ended up in Colorado. That's where Charlie's house was. So she ended up in Colorado after she got away from there, miraculously got out. That was actually nail-biting and anxious to watch. She got out of being burned alive in the house, and she was found by a biker in Colorado, and like I said, taken to the gas station, and then thusly Charlie finds her, and a lot of shit goes down. This is episode 10, so now I'm wrapping everything up here real quick. So this is the second to last part of episode 10. So the police are really closing in on Charlie and everything, and from another state with Maggie's help, and they're also closing in on Bing Partridge, who's been wanted for murder and abduction or kidnapping. And Victoria, she tried to get Craig out of the Rolls Royce, and then she eventually threw gas onto the fucking car. This is amazing. She lights it up, and in turn, that burns Charlie. Basically looked blistered, even though he wasn't on fire. There was smoke trailing off him. I thought that was amazing. Oh, yes, the villain finally got his dues. Finally got his due. Devil's got his due, pretty much, you know? And in turn, she was not able to save her boyfriend, her lover, father of her child. He dies after the car lights on fire and burns before she can extinguish it and save him. Unfortunately, he cannot get out of the back seat. The car would not let her. It is supernaturally alive. Christine vibes, which I was getting really creeped out about. So, find out 6 months later, Bing Partridge has gone by another name, a new alias, Mr. Anderson. I'm getting Matrix vibes off of that now that I think about it. And he's working at a dentist's office, we don't know where. But he is basing in House of Sleep number 2. That's the new location that Maggie was able to spot him at, but they weren't able to find him there. They don't know where it is, and they don't know what it means. So he's God knows where, and Charlie is in a coma until somebody in the police impound, eventually the junkyard, tries to fix the car. He gets it going. In turn, that snaps Charlie out of his coma. He wakes up, and he's back to his old shit, hunting down children once he, basically recharges his batteries in a way, regains his full power. Ah, boy, oh boy, that was creepy, man. Oh, that was just creepy. And we don't know if Christmas Land was destroyed. We assume it's still around. But 6 months later, we find out that Victoria's 6 months pregnant, and the biker, Lou, is her sidekick. She's working for him. So they're basically like a superhero team in a way. It's really cool. I thought that was a cool ending. But damn, Charlie woke up, and I was like, that's the end of the episode? I was in shock. I'm like, I was like frozen in shock. I'm like, oh my god, that was the ending of the episode. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh, that was amazing. So I just wanted to give the rundown of NOS4A2 or NOS4A2 for everyone here because I just finished it. It is my new show next to The Walking Dead, Grey's Anatomy, and so on and so forth, and American Horror Story. It's many, many that I follow. Grey's Anatomy. It's too late to start that because I'd have to rewatch it again, which I'm not going to because that's been a lengthy process. I'm in season 4, so I'm not stopping my binging here. It's too much to do a review. It's too much. Way too much. American Horror Story and Nosferatu and Walking Dead are a lot easier. So once season 10 of The Walking Dead gets onto Netflix, I will watch it and then I'll rewatch the series and go season by season. Do my full review on those. Alright? So this has been my breakdown, best that I can from finishing Nosferatu to my best ability. Thank you for watching, and like I said, you were warned in the beginning of spoilers. Now you know the world of Nosferatu. I'll see you guys later.